Good job, progressive politics. This is the kind of man you produced. Welcome back to Roast the Critics. I'm your host, Andrew. So from the director of The Iron Giant, The Incredibles, this movie, whatever that is, comes Ghost Protocol. Audiences gave it a 76%, pretty modest, for a film that I think is even better than the third one. And critics gave it a whopping 94%. Let's jump into the other 6% of critics who did not give this film a fresh score. Jamie Ann Christley from Slant Magazine says, while Brad Bird's direction is not nearly as fleet as his curriculum vitae in animation would lead one to hope, it's not without its pleasures either. He does the predictable thing, and he's going after Brad Bird as an animation director. Tell me, what do you expect Brad Bird to do? Do you want Tom Cruise to break out into song like a Pixar character? Maybe while he's climbing the Burj Khalifa, you have, dogs flying biplanes and trying to shoot him down. Is that what he wants? Dwayne Dudek from Milwaukee Journal Sentinel says, Ghost Protocol is a less film than a vanity license plate writ large. A throwback to when all an action film needed was a bogus concept, chase scenes, and a Roman numeral in a title. What is wrong with this? Where is his complaint? He's saying that the action, it's too much action. Explosions are too loud. I feel like the movies is dropping me down into the middle of the action. I can't do this. This. Good job, progressive politics. This is the kind of man you produced. Someone who's afraid of a little gunfight in a movie. And I don't know where he's getting this Roman numeral. There is no Roman numeral in this title. It's the first time, in fact, in the Mission Impossible franchise, if you're keeping track. Unless he's talking about MI, the Roman numerals MI. 1001, I believe. We just had the Super Bowl. LIX, I thought that was funny. The Eagles licked the Chiefs. Speaking of 58, you can help this channel that you're watching get more than 58 subscribers. All I'm asking you to do, folks, is just like, share, comment, any engagement with this channel. It helps me make more videos for your guys' entertainment. I mean, honestly, I'm doing it for you, so you have nothing to complain about. This is like a win-win for you. I get nothing out of this. The only way I can is if you engage, so please. All right, next we have Marshall Fine. Marshall Fine. He is from Hollywood and Fine. He says, the scenes are showing badly. Aside from blocks of explosion about the various code words, this movie is chopped up into a collection of action packages. All right, fine. Various code words, he says. If you're confused by that, good, fine. The movie's job is literally to be on a plane higher than you, to have more intelligence than its viewers, to explain the various code words in a way that it makes sense. If Mission Impossible has any fault, it's dumbing things down too much. And that's not a dig on the franchise. It's actually a compliment. They do a really good job. So yeah, quite literally, the film's job is to make complicated concepts digestible. And again, he's afraid of all the action set pieces. It's an action film. You're not going to go watch Ice Age and complain that it's computer generated, that it's a cartoon. Don't do that with action films. Steve Purcell from Tampa Bay Times says mostly it's video game style violence, occasionally pausing for necessary exposition that at home would be times to rest your thumbs. If not video game violence, what kind? Don't video games draw their violence from movies? After all, that's what came first. The Westerns, and then came video games. Why do I don't like the argument that this movie is drawing its inspiration for violence and from video games. It's not the case. It's completely opposite. I mean, wouldn't a better critique be that the video game's violence is too cinematic? It's the video game is what's too Hollywood. It's not the other way around. All right, next we have Ignatii Vishevnets from Ebert Presents at the Movies. He or she says it has a few very good ideas, and then the rest of it is totally lackluster. I would love to crawl inside this guy's head. Not only so that I can learn to pronounce his name, but what is boring about Ghost Protocol? I'm not connecting with this guy. And it's more than just a cultural disconnect. Like even the planning, like when they're planning the heists and they're infused with drama, a little bit of emotion. There's even a little bit of a dangling carrot with what's gone on with Ethan Hunt's wife. This movie has it all, so I don't know what the complaint is here. Dorothy Woodend, oh no, she Woodend, from the Tyree, British Columbia, says, the film clanks along on square wheels, like some leftover Cold War relic. So she does know that there were no weapons used during the Cold War, right? So already we cannot take her at her word. Already she has established at the forefront that she does not know what she's talking about. That's why they call it a Cold War, because there was no fire blown. It was not a hot war like Vietnam. Anything else where the guns are actually shooting, bombs are going off. And if you want to talk about the relics from the Cold War, sure, I get it. You know, it's historical, it's in the past. But the only thing I guess you could qualify as a relic from the Cold War is a 24-ton nuclear missile. Speaking of nuclear missiles, she says, indeed, the central plot point of imminent nuclear disaster, nukes. Do we still have to worry about those? Yes, we do, in fact. They are everywhere, and they are pointed at us. We have nuclear missiles pointed at other countries. It's a big worry. And not to mention, she's from British Columbia. If she really wants to be protected, if she finally realizes that nukes are a big deal, and they are a real threat to literally every life on this planet, she would be happy to concede and allow her country to become America's beloved 51st state. So, Dorothy, our arms are wide open to you. Think about that, Dorothy. A lot to think on. I know I've just kind of rocked your world, but it's nothing compared to what's coming with these nuclear missiles that you apparently are not afraid of. So, David Walsh from World Socialist website. Sounds disturbing. He says, people will go watch the newest edition of Mission Impossible, partly out of nothing better to do, partly because it boasts cast members they like, or promises spectacular sequences. Films like this do not leave a lasting impression. It's 2011. What else are people going to go see in theaters in 2011? Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked? And what's wrong with paying to see actors that you like? Yes, the trailer made some pretty boastful promises. You ask anybody that's actually watched the film, then you would know that this movie delivered on its promises. All right, let's head on over to the audience reviews. Andrew K, that's a nice name, says, this is probably my favorite MI film. Well, it is or it isn't. He gives the film 4.5 out of 5, but you got to be more decisive than that, Andrew. You're going to hold up my namesake. I'm probably 36, but maybe I'm 45. Some things just don't need a probably. Is it or is it not the best Mission Impossible film of the franchise? Now, as for me, I don't know. I juggle that between this and the third one. Maybe I need to be more decisive. All right, most honest review comes from Anders Watzke from Movie Decks. He says, Ghost Protocol was spectacular. Bird knows how to film an action scene, and Cruise knows how to star in one. It's a winning combination. You know what? You nailed it. Just flat out nailed it. Peace and Godspeed. The Fast and Furious franchise literally only has one. Let's go on over to Film for Staff. If I can find it.